Kashima. Yeah, works at Upper
He's like down there somewhere. He just at the base.
I know the
Way down there anyhow. Okay, so I got this.
Se tentar mudar, vou afundar você ocupará esse lugar.
Yeah, that was some footage from the Anime North, which is actually it's quite a large convention that happens in Toronto. Actually, it's touted as the world or North America's largest independent pop culture convention. So you know, you can take that for whatever it is. I don't know exactly what it means.
Whatever is it? Independent. What does that mean? That's an independent promoter, or what does that mean? It's not owned
I think that's what it means. It's an independent promoter. It's not run by a big international
corporate
conglomerate.
thing, kind of like the Toronto Comic Con
Or Wizard
Fan
World
Expo
is, right?
Or
Yeah.
Wizard World. Yeah, the big players in the con world. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was, I mean, I know you guys don't go to it, but I love going down just because I love taking pictures, photographing it. Some of the costumes down there are absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, so many cons, so many weekends, so you
Mm-hmm.
can't go to everything. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love anime, and actually it's interesting that you don't particularly like the genre very much. I mean, one of my favorite anime movies recently came out, Ghost in the Shell. That is a fantastic movie.
Mm.
I would encourage everyone to not see the North American live-action release before you see the original 1995 anime classic on that one.
Ghost in the Shell.
I
Yeah.
like the original.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I don't like anime, but there's just so many things that I'm into. I mean, just not enough time in the day to be into everything, right?
Let's face it, too. And another appeal of a con like that is getting sweet eye candy for cosplay, man. There's a lot of Asian girls playing their favorite characters from mangas and stuff.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And actually, one of the most hilarious things that happened this weekend is while the Anime North was going on, and we're talking, this is a massive event. About 50 to 70,000 people showed up.
Wow, that is almost Fan Expo numbers.
Yeah, and while that was going on, they were also having the National Leadership Convention for the Progressive Conservative Party of Canada.
Boo, hiss for introducing politics into our YouTube comic book channel.
I'm just saying it was hilarious. You got two completely separate groups in the same building at the same time, so it's packed. And for you Americans that don't know much about the Canadian political system, the Progressive Conservative Party is kind of the equivalent of the Republican Party down there.
Except there's nothing progressive about it because they're now only the Conservative
Okay,
Party.
whatever.
The Progressive has been removed from their name.
Okay, but anyways, I just thought it was funny. Talk about two groups that could not be more different. So it was pretty funny.
Okay, but enough said about that. So a good time was had by all, and by all I mean in this segment, you had a good time?
Oh, absolutely fantastic.
Okay,
Exhausting,
maybe-
but fantastic. So
Well, maybe I'll have to check it out next time. Okay, so enough said. Let's get into some books.
Books, cool.
All right, so I am hitting lead off tonight, and I thought, you know what, it's apropos. The guy who flipped her very first appearance, the door prize that he won at the Toronto Comic Book Show a few weeks ago, is going to showcase some sweet Harley books. She normally takes place second to no one,
Yeah.
but tonight, and we're shooting this segment June 2nd, Friday night, Wonder Woman is dropping currently as we speak. So for one night at least, Harley is going to come in second because we're going to have some sweet Wonder Woman books here.
Yeah.
But enough about that. First book up to bat here is the DC Rebirth 980 of Superman Action Comics. Now, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this is my first action comic books, which is kind of weird when you think about it. One of the Holy Trinity, Superman. I don't have a single action book. No, I don't.
Really?
There's so much to have that. And I have to be honest. I mean, out of the three, he comes in third place. No disrespect to Superman or any Superman fan out there, but for me, it would be Batman. I like that, you know, kind of layered, kind of, you know, anti-hero. And then Wonder Woman. I've always loved Wonder Woman. So by default, he's going to come in third. So it's kind of weird. So here it is, my first book. And now these books are going to feature attributes of Harley. And in this one, it showcased how determined dauntless, aggressive. It's not going to take no for an answer. And that's one sweet, kind of weird-looking Terminator-ish Superman.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Very much the Man of Steel there, but what a Man of Steel.
Plunk, plunk, plunk.
It's not actually Superman. It's like one of the. If you read it, he's like
Kind of cyborg, evil
cyborg,
Terminator
evil.
Superman.
And
Yeah.
he's a
Well,
bad guy.
I am not up to date on any Superman, so all I care about is that this is a sweet looking
Yeah,
cover.
you bought it for the cover. Yeah.
I got it for cover appeal, and there she is, like a little mosquito on the back of a bull. I mean, she's trying her all. You gotta love her for it, but the little plink sound effect tells you that she's knocking at the door, but there's nobody home.
So I guess Action Comics will be probably the first book to make it to 1,000.
I guess so.
Yeah.
980, man, within
Yeah,
a couple
and
of calendar
giving
years.
The modern books with the tie-ins, bringing everything in. I think that's probably going to be the big spectacular thing
Yeah.
coming up. Is
Issue 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
issue
think to
1000.
point out, the last thing that's point out on this first book is that, I mean, you stick somebody like Harley who is hot to trot, it can pump up
Gonna sell
any
books.
single issues
Yeah.
kind of sales on that single issue. Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
if I have to explain to you why that kind of cover has great eye appeal, then sorry, I can't help you.
Okay, let's check out the next one.
Next
Mike.
one, Mike?
I'm just speculating that the button is going to hit
Yeah.
Action Comics, not Superman in the 1,000.
Okay, now our next book is the DC Comics Bombshells, issue 27. And here we have, for something completely different, quiet moment here, a little tete-a-tete, a shared moment with her green gal pal, Poison Ivy. Wow. Do we need the little flying hearts and diamonds to know that they're coming? Quite a moment there. Great airbrush style, great dynamics to the cover, great eye appeal, symmetry. Actually, in this one, she does take second to me. She's more in profile and she looks great, but Poison Ivy looks even better
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
cover. Wow. Thumbs up for this guy. Again, $2.99 and $3.99. These are recent. These are the latest books on this. You're not paying a hell of a
Yeah.
lot. Get these kind of covers, man. They're great.
Yeah. I only got one Bombshell, just one in my collection, but it's the first issue.
Okay, so for the last one, this one was paid a little bit more from one of our favorite locals, Retro Rare. He slapped it on the counter and goes, "What would you pay for it?"
That's nice.
And I paid my last $20. Now, I think he was expecting an extra $5 on this one because this is the 1 in 25 retailer incentive variant.
Yeah.
Very cool book. This is Harley's Little Black Book number 6 with sharing the cover with that big badass Lobo. And she is badass herself.
That
And
is
this
an
one,
unusual cover.
she's sexy, irreverent. We're getting a little bit of butt cleavage there, bottom cleavage. She just never looked sexier, and like it does it for me. Bite me, fanboy.
I'm trying to think what I'm trying to.
Man, can she
I'm-
turn her head around?
Honestly,
a lot.
I was taking a good look at that cover earlier, and I'm still trying to figure out whether I like it or not. It's
I like
different.
it.
It's very
definitely
different.
different. But I give you a little bit of everything. Classic animation, some more refined airbrush, very soft looking, and now a little bit of rough at the end there.
Yeah.
$20 Canadian paid. This cover currently, and all variants covers, they're going to go up and down.
Oh, for sure,
They're
yeah.
going to have their most impetus when they first come out. Right now, it's between $15 and $20 US. That's 20-25 Canadian. I paid $20. I'm glad to have it. I don't intend on flipping it. And again, a great cover.
Great, but great. Now that's our new book segment. Really, really well done, Jose. Thanks for bringing those in.
Hoi hoi. Okay, for our next segment, special guest Mike is going classic on us. And what do I mean by going classic? Well, you cannot go wrong when you're featuring books from 2 of the 3 DC Holy Trinity, Superman and Batman.
Very nice.
Leading off here, we have a sweet looking Superman copy, $195, under $200, a 12-cent cover. Beautiful Kurt Swan cover. Take it away, Mike.
Oh yeah, my honey hole there is BMV.
Again?
Come on. When
you-
I see these low prices,
You're like Winnie the Pooh sticking your beak into that honey jar, man. You cannot resist those prices, eh? You're getting some sweet deals on these books.
oh yeah, this
Still haven't been there.
Yeah, well,
gotta go, man. I mean, for a 5.5, I paid $12.75 US for that.
to not go wrong.
$33.60 in that condition. It's April '67. Kurt Swan cover. Now, you got something to say about
Kurt Swan, I mean, a man who defined the Superman titles, and he worked on Superman, Action, Lois Lane, the Jimmy Olsen, and also Adventure and Superboy
Yeah.
in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. For over 3 decades, he really defined the, so to speak, house style for DC,
Yeah.
for Superman and all the different titles. It's a really sad story. Actually, I'm going to be featuring more. I'm going to do a kind of Jim Aparo-like tribute to Kurt Swan in one of our future upcoming episodes
cool.
with an adventure book I recently picked up. But this is a fantastic Kurt Swan cover, Mike. So,
Oh, and
great
that's
stuff.
exactly why I bought it, man. It jumped out at me. It said, I don't care
Okay.
what condition it is, I have to have it. I'm
That, and for that price, that's no money paid. So
Yeah.
if you are starting out with that, that's going to be a pretty special Batman under there. So what do you got under that Superman?
Oh, man.
Oh,
Nice.
we
We
got
haven't
some
shown
nice
enough Batmans
Batman.
in a while, man. We haven't shown enough Batmans in a while.
Wow,
I'm
you-
just not seeing them out there. So again,
Yeah.
Again, when BMV pulls through, I'm there. I paid $7.50 for that
Wow.
US, right? And
That's
okay,
a
it's
really
about
cool.
A two-bagger. It's about a two-bagger.
That's a cool looking kind of almost ghost-like kind of cover there with the
Yeah, it's
specter
like it
running
could
through the
almost go into
wall.
our, Halloween
Very cool.
Special.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's June '76, so it's a newer book. So obviously, it's got a fine, very fine kind of
A bicentennial cover, man. 200 years, man. And a book that's now over 40 years old. That's a pretty sweet looking what did you say the grade was on this one?
I give it a fine, very fine. It's about 7.0, and you
Oh,
take a
yeah.
really close look at it. It's
Yeah,
great.
you can get a really good guide on that one with the spine on that. You'll notice any spine stress marks or break color on that. So it looks in really good shape. Nice score, Mike.
Oh, I love it, love it. And it was just cool to say that the artists are ones that I haven't heard of. Maybe you have, but Emmy Chan and
Ernie Chan.
Tatiana Wood.
Ernie Chan was like, he did a lot of different stuff, man. He was a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Tatiana Wood I haven't heard too much about, but
Yeah.
I think this is Ernie Chan channeling, of course, the great Neil Adams. He was very much a Neil
Oh,
Adams
okay.
kind of in the style of kind of guy. So, and you say
Makes sense
his
then.
Asian brother then kind of, so to speak. So,
And
yeah.
it makes sense though, because he did some work in Batman as well,
Oh, of
right?
course.
So obviously they wanted an artist that was very similar a
Well,
little later on, right?
two classic DC titles, Batman and Superman. Yep, you've gone the old school classic route. Way to go, Mike.
We
Those
got
are good
Action,
pickups.
Batman and Superman and rock and roll.
Nice.
Very nice, Mike. Nice books. Thanks for bringing them in.
Cool pickup. If there's one place I'd rather be tonight other than shooting our episode, it's watching the premiere of the Wonder Woman flick. It's gotten great reviews, 97 aggregate score from both Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes. And now, to put that in perspective, the only movie superhero-wise that has gotten a greater aggregate score than that was the first Iron Man movie. In comparison's sakes, the Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Suicide movies received scores in the 20s and 50s, respectively. So it's a bona fide hit. So, Paul, without further ado, this is a nice pickup.
Yeah, this was one I picked up last weekend at Retro Rare. We
Yeah.
were, fishing through a Sandy stack of Wonder Womans. He bought a collection a little just recently, and he had some really nice books in there. And I picked up a very nice copy of Wonder Woman, number 190.
Yeah, this is from the very early Bronze Age, isn't it?
It is. It's from October 1970. Now, it's not a key by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a really nice book done during that era when, she lost the costume and went to, like, civilian clothes. So, I mean, I like those books, and I think I'm going to try and collect them when I can. Hopefully, in time, I'll collect all of them.
It's a very achievable run, and if you're looking numbers-wise, those books would run from issues 178 to 203. 178 to 203, roughly almost a 5-year span.
Yeah, and this is, like I said, October 1970, so a very Halloween-y type cover. She's fighting the Shadow Men here. This book, I don't know, maybe it's about a VF or fine, or I don't know. I paid $40 for it. According to the Realm, in near mint, and by near mint I mean a 9.4, you're probably looking at about $80 US. That's at the top range.
Top end, yeah.
Very nice Mike Sekowsky cover. In fact, this is pretty much a one-man show. Mike Sekowsky not only did the cover, he does the interior art, and he wrote the story as well.
Oh, write the story. Danny O'Neill wasn't involved with this issue.
I don't
That's
think so.
interesting.
The only other guy involved in this book was Dick Giordano, who did the inking.
Inking, yeah.
Otherwise, it was Sekowsky through and through.
Wow.
And nice 15-cent cover for $40 Canadian.
$30
Yeah.
US, that's no money paid. That's
Yeah.
as good as you're going to get for around a VF book, no money paid.
I loved it, yeah.
Good snag.
I picked up a few from Retro as well.
Okay, so this is something we don't see every day. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time we've ever showed one, a Harvey title. This
No.
is one of Jose's books, and this is Spyman #1. Wow, Jose.
Actually, I think we stand corrected there. I think this is the second Harvey title. If I remember correctly, we featured that book I picked up, Captain 3D. That was a Harvey
Yeah,
title.
that was a Harvey title. Yeah,
So
man.
this is number two. Number 2 with a bullet. Spyman #1 from September of '66. Now, do I have to let anybody here know that Jim Steranko, as far as I'm concerned, is a comic book legend?
Yeah.
That's been an influential comic book artist for incorporating op art and surrealism
Jose
into the
is-
pages of comic books. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's also noted for his incorporation of psychedelia. Enough said?
Enough said.
Enough said. So, Steranko's first published work as a professional is in this Harvey Comics issue right here. Top Secret, The Adventures of Spyman, issue number 1. He also created the character before becoming a part of the Marvel family and gaining, of course, recognition for his work on the Nick Fury stories and Strange Tales. Now, the part of the cover that he's responsible for, the rest of the cover is George Tuska, a veteran comic book artist that's a legend in his own time too, is the hand of Spyman, the robotic bionic hand at the bottom left corner. That is Steranko, pure through and through Steranko. That is his contribution to the cover right there. Now, he started off as a graphic designer. Steranko lent his skills in the trade in creating, of course, that classic X-Men logo starting with issue number 50. Yes, it's the skewed block type letters 1, and that X-Men logo would become an iconic benchmark for the superhero group for decades now. He's credited with creating the Contessa, a foe of Nick Fury, and Madam Hydra, or Viper for Captain America. Now, Viper was a character in the 2013 Wolverine movie. Now, this issue is not that well known for being Steranko's first published work when it comes to most comic book fans, but it is noted both by Overstreet and CGC. However, even though Jim Steranko was influential in revolutionizing comic book art, this comic is highly overlooked and therefore undervalued.
Certainly is.
Right now, Guide has a 9.2 near mint minus at only $100 US. Yeah, no kidding there, but that's just my opinion as usual. This book has a low CGC census thus far. Well, with those prices, you don't blame people for not spending the money that it would take to slab a book of this.
Yeah.
I think they're missing something.
I think they're missing
It's
something
a sleeper,
there.
I would say.
It's a sleeper. Now, I mean, I basically just lucked upon this at one of our locals. I paid $50 Canadian, which is roughly something around $40 US right now. Grade-wise, I would say it's about a fine, a mid-grade, or maybe a fine plus, something along those lines. So just to end it, let's say that the Overstreet 46 price breaks show 38, 69 and $100 US as the 8, 9, and 9.2 grade splits for this issue right here. Great pet buck for me. It's kind of a grail book for Steranko. Glad I could check that off my list.
And for
I'm gonna
50
keep an eye open for that
and
too
for
now.
$50, come on, man, steal. I mean, come on. Fantastic book, Jose. Thanks for bringing it in.
Hoy, hoy, big one on that one. All right, for our next segment, we got some Champions action. Issue number 2, man. What an iconoclastic team when you consider the makeup of it. But I think we'll be concentrating on that hottie Black Widow. Take it away, Mike.
That's what pulled me into to buy these. Obviously,
Yeah,
this
can't
is
go
just
wrong.
after she split with Daredevil.
After that fantastic run she had, that
that
40-issue run with
big-
Gene Colan. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Kicked him to the curb, broke Matt Murdock's heart, and she flipped over and went to start the Champions. And with a lineup made of Hercules, the Angel from the X-Men, Ghost Rider. What an iconoclastic team up there.
Nice.
yeah, it's a very kind of a strange team. The way they put it together, it's interesting. It captures an appeal to someone.
Yeah, you got a little bit of
And they're
everything.
Just trying to sell a few extra books or whatever.
Sure. You had the Iceman and the Angel from the X-Men. You had Hercules, which was basically the Roman equivalent of the Thunder God Thor. You had to have that female lead in there, or like a superheroine, and then the Black Widow provides that. And then to throw that extra little mix, you had some kind of horror kind of thing with the Ghost Rider. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so very, very varied lineup there.
Very nice book.
You know, at Hagenland, they had this with some Black Widow, all kinds of Black Widow stuff right out in front.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I love Black Widow. They all know that. So I was like, okay, for $10, I'll take them.
Wow.
So you know, number 2. Number 2.
And number 5.
And number 5,
another great cover, Black Widow. Obviously, all the team on there. This is the first book where they all actually become the champions.
Oh, they officially incorporated into the champions.
So number 2, you know, being the lower numbers, a little worth a little more. Number 5, no, they're both worth about $18 US.
Yeah, I'll put the prices up when I edit the show.
I paid $11.25 for number 2, and I paid about $7. I paid less for this one, and it's about equal value. So
They're nice. They're nice condition too.
Yeah,
they're great.
But people might not put that much stock in them officially becoming the team in the 5th issue. But, I mean, it's something just to quibble over, I guess.
Just to quibble over. And these are high grade. These are like VF pluses.
Yeah, you'd want to pay.
They really are.
These are like mid-Bronze Age books, I think, from the
Yeah.
mid-70s. So you should try to get them in the best condition you can.
And there's a new Champions that just came out, so that kind of revitalized.
That's
that,
good, providing
December of
continuity.
2016 into 17 is a whole new team. It's a different team, obviously made up of the same kind of supporting characters
Yep.
and less popular characters put together just to catch your eye. Oh, I'm a fan of that guy. I'm a fan of the guy. I'm a fan of Black Widow.
Yeah,
That's why I bought these. Same thing.
It's important for the continuity of the brand, so to speak, to make them still relevant in the modern age so people can refer back to the old classic books. That's
Yeah.
cool.
They scaled well on their own. Let's keep them going.
Yeah, it was just short-lived. I think it ran for about a year and a half, under 2 years, 17, 18
17
issues.
yeah.
So it's something that's very attainable if you want to do a kind of set there.
If you want to do the whole series.
Yeah, why
It's
not?
not going to break your bank.
No, it won't.
Cool little books, Mike. Thanks for bringing them in.
Nice pickups.
Okay, so we're just going to do a quick pause here to do a quick tribute for an iconic actor that just passed away last month. On May 22nd, we lost Roger Moore, and as we're all aware, he played James Bond. He was the second actor that played James Bond.
No, he wasn't. A lot of people make that mistake. He wasn't the second actor chronologically to play him. Remember, after Sean Connery left the iconic role, they scrambled, Broccoli and his partner Saltzman scrambled to find an actor.
Oh,
Who
that's
could they
right.
find? They found George Lazenby,
that's right.
and he played
For one
Honor
movie.
Majesty's Secret Service.
For the
And then
one
he
movie.
basically booted that ball by falling out with the producers, which
Yeah.
basically landed the role to that actor who had played Simon Templar in The Saint. Now, for you young guys, that's a show back from the late 50s, early 60s. That's the calling card that he came with when he came to the role
Yeah.
as 007. And most people's, I mean, he takes second place to the iconic Sean Connery. For some people, it's their favorite. I say he played the role maybe a little too long, so that the last few movies were maybe a little tired. They were, but he had his moments in the sun. If I could probably say my favorites, I mean, you cannot go wrong but start off with a real bang. In my opinion, his best one in Live and Let Die, which was great, fantastic, with a very, very young Jane Seymour
Yeah.
as that solitaire.
See, me and Jose differ on that. For me, my favorite movie was Moonraker.
Breaker. That would call that a nice classic mid-period. Well,
Yeah.
actually more towards like later period, really.
Yeah.
But when you consider he played the role for that, the last movie I think was
Yeah.
A View to a
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kill from the 80s. But from mid-period, For Your Eyes Only, I would also mention.
Yeah, fantastic film.
That was another great one. And also there's other classics. The Man with the Golden Gun was another fantastic movie. So there, yeah.
And The Spy Who Loved Me, which introduced one of his iconic villains, Jaws.
Yes, exactly. But that's a gadget to take it over by that time, and he's wearing leisure suits while driving that Lotus. So I mean, it has its ups and downs. It reflected the time. But I mean, even a man as handsome and as almost pretty in his youth was. I mean, even he could barely pull off a leisure
Well,
suit.
you know
Man.
what they used to say about him? His movies had a little bit more cheese with just just with just the right amount of ham thrown in.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be hard pressed, I think, after that, after he left the role. I mean, I saw him in the Cannonball Run movies, but I mean, I struggled to find anything
Okay,
else.
but
that he was in.
bottom line is, I mean,
He was a fantastic
he was
actor.
a fantastic actor. He did a fantastic job. Played it a little bit more tongue-in-cheek than Roger Moore did, and especially more than Daniel Craig does. But added his own style, his own personality stamp to the role, and the longest-running actor to play
The role.
James Bond.
And now the first to go, because all the rest of the other, they're still around.
He was actually older than Sean Connery.
I think
by a year.
Sean Connery probably just felt a ghost walk over his grave there. Yeah.
It's just, I mean, sorry to see him go. A fantastic actor and another one that we'll remember. A great career, but 89 years old, not a bad run.
Oh yeah, he had a great run.
Okay, so next up we got Jose, and while I was at Retro Rare Comics last week buying one Wonder Woman, Jose's been on the hunt and never to be outdone. He ends up coming home with 4, not all of them from Retro Rare, but let's what do you got for us, Jose? What do you got?
So I was reading up on the Wonder Woman movie dropping tonight. Lots of hype online and lots of general excitement, all of it positive. The debut of one of Comic-Con's oldest and most revered characters, and her first solo movie has a lot riding on it. It's the 4th film in the growing DC universe, and the Amazonian princess played by Gal Gadot was considered the lone bright spot in Zack Snyder's critically maligned Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice movie.
That's right.
So I thought I'd comb over some old Wonder Woman comics in my stash and see if I can find some interesting books that I haven't featured yet in one of our episodes. Now, the Silver and Bronze Age Wonder Woman books are currently being mined by investors for standout must-have covers. Collectors have finally clued into the fact that pre-1970 DC key issues are scarce, even in fine 6.0 condition or better. Most of the Silver Age key issues in the marketplace are in the fair to very good condition range, with high grade beginning at fine 6.0 or better. Sellers are now getting a lot of key issues graded by CGC and CBCS, even in good, very good through fine, very fine grades, where previously only sent in VF8 or better copies, and they are selling fast, as high grade copies are now too expensive for most collectors' wallets. So speculators are also starting to buy up all the moderate and minor key issues that still have low guide values, as many have not yet been broken out in price runs of surrounding lesser issues. I firmly believe that Wonder Woman is poised to take her rightful place as a primo investment vehicle, as her run is notoriously low print in all ages. Okay, so if I have to explain why the following covers have great eye appeal, again, honestly, I can't help you. Let's start out. Wonder Woman, Volume 1, Issue 169, April 67. First appearance of the Crimson Centipede. Cover pencils by Ross Andrew, inks by Mike Esposito. Wonder Woman battles the Crimson Centipede, script by Robert Kaniger, in which the god War Mars, which is the big bad in the movie, unleashes his latest creation at Wonder Woman, a supervillain called the Crimson Centipede. It has a backup story, The Cage of Doom, in which, to make Steve Trevor jealous, Wonder Woman agrees to date General Darnell, and it succeeds. Yeah, Comic Book Realm, 9298, 6.0 price splits, 160, 156.75, 140.25, and 49.50. My copy, grade VF minus 7.5.
Fantastic.
Let's go to the next book. Next book, big one here. Wonder Woman Volume 1, Issue 180 from February 69, right at the tail end of the Silver Age. This is the issue with the death of Steve Trevor. Cover pencils by Mike Sikowski, inks by Dick Giordano, A Death for Diana. Script by Dennis O'Neil, which in a storyline that began in issue 178, the very first new Wonder Woman issue, Steve Trevor was accused of criminal activity, even as Paradise Island was being transported to another dimension. Forced to choose between home and friend, Wonder Woman abandoned her Amazon powers and costume and remained on Earth to help Trevor. Bad decision. By this issue, issue 180, Trevor was dead. Now, as a side note, in the mid to late 70s, amid a tangle of conflicting plot lines, Steve Trevor was revived through the auspices of the goddess of love, Aphrodite.
Cool.
And then he was slain several issues later as Wonder Woman cried, "Steve, no, not again."
Not again.
In 1980, Steve Trevor was revived once more. Okay, so let's see. The Comic Book Realm 9 splits on 9.2, 9, 8, and 6.0 on this book are surprisingly somewhat low. $77.50, $76, $68, and $24 US. Mine grade, mine's a nice higher grade. I would grade that a VF plus 8.5.
I would hope so. At $150. Yeah.
Yes, I paid up for that one. Okay, next issue. This is a retro book. This is Wonder Woman first issue, issue 203 from December 1972. A classic bondage cover with the strange dichotomy of being labeled as a special women's lib issue. This is the last of the Sikorsky O'Neill New Wonder Woman issues. Bowing to feminist outrage led by Gloria Steinem's Miss Magazine, Wonder Woman's powers and iconic costume were restored in the very next issue, 204. A book I featured in a previous episode that has the death of her mentor, I Ching, and the first appearance of her black sister, Nubia. Now, in this issue, Wonder Woman's attitude to exploit women is surprisingly, screw them, I've got mine. After department store owner Grandy offers Diana as a job as his spokesmodel, Diana's feminist friend Kathy reveals the man is actually a sexist pig who exploits women. His supposedly upscale clothes are made by underpaid workers in local sweatshops and are sold by his store staff who earn under the minimum wage.
Kind of like Ivanka Trump.
Diana's response is a shrug. This is a great deal for her, so why should she care? She has no interest in attending Kathy's women's lib meeting to hear counter-arguments. Heck, she doesn't even like women. Kathy lashes back with a sick burn. You are a woman, so you must hate yourself. Diana belatedly realizes she's wrong. Women's rights are important, and Grandy must pay for his actions. Robert Kanigher was back writing Wonder Woman, and once again, the heroine struggled to find an audience. Dear DC, if you publish a story that has Wonder Woman not caring about equality or women, you're doing it wrong.
That's right, yeah.
Comic Book Realm 9.2, 9, 8, and 6-point price splits for this one are 37, 36, 32, and 11.50 US, grade VF 8.0. And our last book. Yep, this is the last book, and it's also interesting, the very last book of the series itself. This is the final issue of the first series, Wonder Woman, issue 329 from February 1986.
Very nice.
Yes, it finds Wonder Woman rallying the Amazons against Hades' army of the dead as the Anti-Monitor takes his war against the multiverse to Olympus, home of the gods. Diana and Steve Trevor finally marry in this issue before Wonder Woman and this version of reality are destroyed in the Crisis on Infinite Earths miniseries.
You're giving away spoilers again there, Jose.
Comic Book Realm 9.4, 9.2, 9, 8.0 price split, 16, 15.50, 15, and 13 criminally underpriced in my opinion. Grade 9294.
Nice.
Last note to say on these books, since Crisis and George Perez resurrected Wonder Woman in 1987, she has become arguably the most important female character in comic history. Wonder Woman first issue series from 51 to 130 are in very low supply in the marketplace. A very, very tough run to complete with good to fine condition grade copies often bringing in 125 to 200% current guide prices.
Wow.
Now, this is interesting. New issues 177 to 220, which encompasses her entire new Wonder Woman run, are in steady demand and usually sell at 25 to 100% over guide prices. Great investment prices if you can get them for guide or better. You're doing great. And with the new Wonder Woman, it's going to put a torch to all these issues. Great stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, that's some fantastic books, Jose, and that's almost like information overload there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we're gonna calm it down with my next book probably.
Cool. Fantastic books, Jose. Thanks for bringing them in.
Score.
Big time.
Okay, so for Mike's last book of the evening, we got a really nice copy of Fantastic Four, number 76. And judging by the price tag, I know where you bought this one.
Dun dun dun. It's cave time.
Yeah, I just want to go woo after the bank of knowledge there explodes with all of his awesome knowledge. I'm bringing the tone down a little bit with just a simple run book, of course,
Yeah.
because that's me.
Well, this
And,
is more than just a simple run. There is a
no,
first
there's
appearance.
There's a first appearance of the Instructable One, and I'm not sure how many episodes he's ever been in. Maybe it's a one and done. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But you gotta love our favorite guys that we go to at the smaller cons. Why? Tell you why. At a 7.5, I paid $33.75 for that in U.S. dollars. That's 45 Canadian. So maybe if you call that full pop, I'm thinking this is an older book. One of the earlier cons. Not even sure which con I was at. We've been to about 3 or 4 of them now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
They're all starting to blur.
yeah, they're starting to blur, and we just never got around to showing this beautiful Jack Kirby Joe Cernat cover from 1968, July. And it's worth, on the realm, 133 US.
Yeah.
What? So we just checked eBay right now, in around the same grade. And of course, they've got everything all wackadoodle.
Yeah.
They what they do is that they up the grade, but they charge you a price that is actually what the book is worth. So to find one that looked decent enough, I'd say 25% off of 133 US. Let's call it a $100 book for $45.
Yeah.
Canadian
Yeah.
awesomeness. I
Well,
love it.
it's definitely not just a single appearance, because if it says first appearance of a minor character, but he only ever appears once, then there's a notation. It usually will say something.
So
like,
he's probably shown up in a few other.
he's a minor villain, but he's been more than one book.
Yeah,
that's for
more
sure.
than one book. So
Yeah.
anyway, I mean, I just love it. I mean, and we were looking at all kinds of different grades and what people were calling what they were calling and stuff like that. And I gotta say, this is one of the finer books that I've seen. Got it from my favorite boys. Of course, I'm gonna go visit them again. Absolutely,
The Batcave. Yeah.
all the way.
Yeah, it would feel weird for me. It'd be like there's a hole in my soul if, after doing Superman and Batman on the DC side, you did not pop in with like an Amazing Spider-Man and Fantastic Four. It would just be wrong or weird.
Well, because I'm always on the hunt, and you know what I'm hunting for, so I gotta show it.
Fantastic book, Mike. Thanks for bringing it in.
Own it, Mike. A nice high grade.
Yes.
Okay, so Jose is bringing it home tonight with the very last book of the evening, and this is a really high-grade copy of Wonder Woman. I can't even see the number from here, Jose.
It's Wonder Woman Volume 1, Issue 182 from June of '69.
Nice.
First appearance of Drusilla.
Nice.
Now, let's have some fun and bring back a blast from the past. Who is Drusilla? Anyone?
I guessed at first, now that you said the name, I didn't know, but I thought at first, just looking at the cover, that it was maybe Cheetah before she became Cheetah.
Nope.
I was wrong about that.
To me, she's from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
So then I thought maybe she's Wonder Woman's sister from Themerica.
And you would be partially right with that answer. So let's explain. So she is an Amazonian character from the comics that debuted at the very tail end of the Silver Age back in this issue in 1969. In her debut, she is an Amazonian messenger who was sent by Queen Hippolyta to bring Diana back to Paradise Island and help them battle the god of war, Ares. Yes, this key issue debut was during the Wonder Woman era, where she was still depowered and learned how to become a master of martial arts from I Ching. Still, doesn't mean it wasn't significant or had an influential impact. Okay, so what's the big deal? No, I don't think her character is in the Wonder Woman flick, or the character hasn't been announced anyway. However, the character of Drusilla was actually on the old Wonder Woman TV series starring Linda Carter. Now, if you're a young buck, you probably have little idea what I'm talking about. No worries. But if you grew up during the 1980s, you might probably remember reruns of the Wonder Woman TV show on TV. So, before Richard Gere whisked her away from the drudgery of small-town factory life in An Officer and a Gentleman, Deborah Winger was the TV version of Wonder Girl. Instead of Donna Troy, however, Wonder Girl on the iconic show was named Drusilla.
Yeah.
Slightly influenced from the comics, but definitely not the same character in the show. Drusilla was twisted around to become the younger sister of Princess Diana. Yeah.
That's why I'm all.
Once again, not sure if the new Wonder Woman movie has this character somewhere on Paradise Island or what. Now, with the Justice League trailer showing Amazonians getting into the fray with parademons, there's obviously going to be quite a few Amazons in that cinematic world, and we will surely be introduced to some of them in this year's Wonder Woman movie. Now, even if the character is dismissed by Hollywood, it's still a bit of fun knowledge to have for a comic book fan or even a Wonder Woman fan.
Yeah.
I always thought Deborah Winger was a hottie anyway, but did not remember she was Drusilla on the Wonder Woman TV show. Apparently, a Wonder Girl TV series was in the works back in the day, but Deborah Winger apparently broke her contract and left the series. Might have been a wise career move for her, but she's carried the memory of that role with grace. Since 1983, she did a cool interview with David Letterman about her early role on the Wonder Woman TV series, and it's on YouTube and you can check it out. Anyway, it's all fun stuff. If you're looking for a not so well known first appearance Wonder Woman key issue that's definitely under the radar and from the Silver Age, Wonder Woman issue 182, the last 12-cent issue in the run, is still a sleeper and it fits the bill to a T.
Okay, I think I'm going to go find one of these for myself.
46 Overstreet price guide shows $33, $57, and $80 US as the 8, 9, and 9.2 price splits for this issue. I got a really nice grade. This is as far as I'm willing to go when I'm visually grading a raw book, but I would consider this a near mint minus 9.2.
It is. I mean, the corners are sharp.
No
the
spike.
spine is pristine. I mean, it's a really beautiful copy, Jose.
Yeah, nice. And at $80, it's exactly what it should be. $80 US, which is a little more than $100 Canadian, which is exactly what I paid for it. So right on guide price, no brainer for me. Picked it up, spent the money, well spent. Not an insignificant pie, but if you can get a really high grade, it's worth the money, I think.
Great
right
acquisition for your collection, that is for sure.
So let's run it down and end this episode by saying, keeping scores, and Mike, since Paul likes doing this, Mike, you have 53. Now I'm up to 33. And Paul, what's your total?
About 4 or 5.
4 or 5. There, enough said.
Okay, listen, dude, I got lots of stuff. How's your Micronauts collection looking today?
No, pretty skimpy, I
And your
know.
Star Wars. How's your Star Wars? How about your ROM Space Knight?
Ah, just own it, Paul. We're leaps ahead of you in Wonder Woman. It's a nice place to be with the movie dropping. I'm definitely checking that out when it comes out, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Anyways, this wasn't supposed to be a Wonder Woman episode, but it certainly ended up being that way, didn't it?
Yeah, well, as we're
definitely
shooting
a
it on the
theme.
night of the debut, it definitely is beating.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Anyways, guys, so that's some great information and some great books. And guys, thanks for watching. And if you like what you saw, leave the comments because we like reading them and we will respond. And we will see you next time.
Hoi hoi.
Special guest Mike.
I fell out of an airplane without a parachute.